I'm just not one of them parents that's gonna be your friend. I'm gonna put it down. If you're doing bad in school, you're gonna get punished for it. I'm not gonna go out and buy you a new pair of sneakers and you got all else on your report card. You get reward. I reward my children for good, not for bad. You know that was your baby on that camera. You know that was your baby you seen on the news that took that person's life, and you gonna hide them out. You gonna lie for these girls be out here wilding too. They be robbing, they be carjacking, they do everything the boys do. So it's just not a boy thing. It's it's both. They all out here running wild, running damn crazy on these pills. You wanna be their friend, you don't want to turn them in and stuff. That it's only jail or hell. Hey y'all, and welcome back where we talk about love, relationships, sex, and we even talk about current events sometimes because it be a lot of viral stuff going on, and it can get crazy sometimes. So yeah, that's what this show is about, and I'm your host, yours truly, T Marie, baby. So we're gonna get right on it to today's topic, and that topic is I am not my kids' friends. Let me tell you. Let me tell you why I say that. Let me tell you why I say that. I am not my kids' friend because sometimes they take that for granted. They'll use it to their advantage. Or I feel like to a certain extent, they get too beside themselves and want to, probably get smart at the mouth or think they can be disrespectful. And me, as the type of mother that I am, I'm stern. I am, I don't play. I'm not playing no games with you. And my kids, they know not to play with me. But my two oldest, I have a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old. I also have a 3-year-old, but as far as my two oldest, the older they get, your relationship changes with your children. I understand that because when they were younger, yes, I didn't play. I still don't play. You still gonna respect me. We still got boundaries. Um, there's a limit to how far I'll go with you and how far you can go with me. And so the older they get or they have gotten, our relationship has changed. Like, it's more on the playful side. It's more on the, they dating now, and of course, you're gonna ask your kids, are you having sex or do you got a girlfriend and all those type of things. If it's needed, especially when they dating, why not talk about it? Cause we know what come with it. We done been there before, been there, done it, and this a new generation, so you better be asking questions. If you're not, what are you doing? And so now it's more on the playful side. Like I could be their friends in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want them to ever think that they can't come and talk to me, even though your children still sometimes, depending on what it is, gonna be skeptical about coming to you about certain stuff. I feel like, and when I was growing up, it was a lot of stuff that I couldn't talk to my mom about because she didn't give me that open door. You know what I'm saying? Like it was certain stuff I could, but like as far as sex, and I just felt like she was the type of mama. She the type of mama that just, I don't know. She don't want to talk about that with her children. But I feel like you should talk about it. You shouldn't just say, "Oh, it's diseases out here. Wear a condom." I think we need to go more in depth with those type of subjects because sex is important. Diseases come from sex, and some of them you can't get rid of. So I think them talks need to go more in depth. It might be some certain stuff you might not even want to hear your child say to know what they are doing sexually, but you don't have to ask them for the whole rundown. And but you can let them know, you know what's what. And I feel like now I've grown with my children. So I feel like it's a lot of stuff now that I feel like I could talk about with them that I couldn't at first because I either felt like they were too young or I felt like, I don't know, at some point I did not want to hear whether or not you're a virgin. If you don't really want to hear that, but it's good to ask those questions regardless of how icky or disgusted you are by it. It's life, it's reality. And so I'm not my I'm not my children's friend, but I still want to be an open book for them. And I want them to be an open book for me because it's so much going on in the world, and we think as parents that we go through struggles and depression and things of that nature, but our children do too. Our children, they do as well. So, although I'm not their friend, but in the moment, I feel like I'm more open with them. They can come and talk to me about any and everything, and I'm going to listen and I'm going to give my feedback. But for me, I don't want to get too free with them, if you know what I mean. Like we could be cool as far as when we talking about stuff. We laugh, we check each other, we make jokes on each other, stuff like that. But I still let them know I'm mama first. I'm mama first before anything. And some of these parents out here are being their children's friend, and they taking it too far. And that's what I mean by I'm not my children's friend, because sometimes these parents start smoking with their children, drinking with their children, um, letting their children be disrespectful to them as far as calling them all out their name, cussing them out. And then if they disrespectful to you, how they going to respect another adult? You know what I'm saying? If they don't even give you their respect. And they party with their children. Now, I'm not saying to a certain extent when your kids become of age, yeah, it's some things it's gonna be out of your control at a certain point. So I'm not saying it like that, but even if my children grew up grow up and wanted to, if they want to smoke and drink, at a certain point it's gonna be out of my hands. All I can do is tell them, drink responsibly. If you're gonna do it, don't drink and drive. And, if you're gonna smoke, be careful. Like, I don't know, but once your children get grown, it's hard to tell them anything. But you do have some children that will still listen. I feel like my children still listen to what I say, even though they act like they don't want to hear it sometimes. But they be listening, honey. They be listening. So yeah, you got some of these parents. Yeah, I'm drinking hot chocolate, by the way. It's early in the morning that I'm recording this video. I'm trying to get a video out for y'all this morning, or today rather. Yeah, and there's some parents out here that being their children's friend, know they out here robbing, know they out here toting guns. I don't want you to think I'm that much of your friend that you can feel comfortable enough to be around me smoking in my face, drinking in my face. Because a lot of time this stuff is happening. These children are still underage. These children are 13, 14, 15, 16. They're still children. They're not even adults yet to even be doing it in front of you. And to a certain extent, I will hope that my children respect me when it comes to certain things. I know certain things going to be out of my control, but I don't know. As long as I guess you just be responsible is all I can tell them, you know, and, make sure they know the consequences of, what they do. And it's something that they'll have to live with, or, face the consequences if there ever were to be some. But a lot of these parents being a friend, knowing these children out here stealing and breaking in these cars, because we got, where I'm from, we got a lot of that going on right now, of the stealing cars and robbing people, and you know taking people out of here for good. If you know what I mean, they taking you away from your families, and some of these mothers be knowing it. They don't do nothing about it. They cover up for them. You know what I'm saying? And some of these mothers, these parents, because it be the mamas and daddies, it ain't just the mamas. We got the daddies too that teach them what they know. And so they grow up and doing the same thing. I try to teach my children to always be respectful to your elders, to adults. You know, at some points, you know, people say that adults have to earn respect to get respect. But I'm talking about, if you're just out somewhere, hold the door for the person behind you. Say thank you. Be polite. I mean, in those ways, like, you might run across an adult that's disrespectful, you know, and you feel like you don't owe them no respect, but just walk away. Walk away. De escalate. Walk away. Or come tell me. But now, so I'm just not one of them parents that's gonna be your friend. I'm gonna put it down. If you're doing bad in school, you're gonna get punished for it. I'm not gonna go out and buy you a new pair of sneakers and you got all else on your report card. You get reward. I reward my children for good, not for bad. You do bad, you suffer the consequences. So these parents out here that's upholding for their children, knowing their children out here robbing and taking people's lives, and then as soon as you know one of these upstanding citizens pull theirs out and then take your child away from you, take your child's life, then that's when they need a fish fry. Oh, my child was the best child. He didn't hurt nobody. He didn't mess with nobody. He was a good kid. Why didn't you get him some help? You should have got his ass some help. You should have turned his ass to the police when you knew that damn car didn't belong. You knew that car was stolen. You knew he didn't have all that money. You know he ain't got no job. Where the money coming from? You know he done took somebody's life. You know that was your baby on that camera. You know that was your baby you seen on the news that took that person's life. And you gonna hide them out. You gonna lie for them. Get yourself in some mess. And you could have just turned them in. I understand police be, but you take them to the precinct yourself. But you sitting up there knowing what's going on and you upholding for them? What? Let either one of mine go out there and do some crime, and I see let me see them on the news. Let me see their ass on the news. What? Because we know our children. We know their clothes, and the folks be wearing them hoodies, and then they be saying, do you know this person they have on a hoodie with a big old cartoon carrots on the back? Like, just ignorant. Don't even know what they doing. I'm turning mine in. Point blank, period. I'm turning them in. I'm not finna sit up there. Why? So you can the next day, the next night, go out and take somebody else's life again? You just gonna let your child be out here just taking folks' lives, taking folks' hard-earned money or cars, whatever the case may be, that they work hard for. You just gonna let your child be out here stealing and taking people's lives, and you're not gonna do nothing about it? I can't be that much of my child's friend to let them get away with stuff like that. I cannot. I'm not having it. And mine know that. I'm not gonna play with you. And for me, when I see my when I see bad stuff happening on the news Or we could be driving by and see some children doing something they ain't got no business doing, or could be crossing the street taking their time. I always look, you see what he did? Or you see that on the news, you see what happened to him when they did this, this, and that. That's where you'll be if you ever decide to do something like this. So I always use certain situations to reiterate to mine. You go out there and do bad, don't look for me to bun you out. Don't look for me to uphold for you. If you did the crime, you're going to do the time. Period. Period. So I don't see how some of these parents can be out here. I guess if you come from the streets and that's all you know, I mean, I guess, and especially if you still in the streets as an adult and a parent. I mean, I guess I don't understand it, but I guess that's your children don't have no choice when it's just with the streets is all you know, and like my son, my son, Pappy ain't in his life. He ain't, So I try to teach my son the best way I can. Of course, I have a stepdaddy. I got two brothers, but to be honest, it's still he don't my son don't have no mirror role model. So like they're not bad people, but I'm saying as a granddad, as uncles, they don't step up to try to be their role model and try to make sure he on the right path, because there's a lot of stuff a woman can't teach a boy. A woman can't teach a boy how to be a man. And so I do the best that I can, as far as like if I'm seeing something on the news, or like I said, if something happen, if something go on with a family member, of if I see something on social media that done happen, I always try to go and have teaching moments with my children, not just my son, because these girls be out here wilding too. They be robbing, they be carjacking, they do everything the boys do. So it's just not a boy thing. It's both. They all out here running wild, running damn crazy on these pills and stuff, and ain't got no kind of guidance. No kind of guidance. And I understand that there are some parents out here too that do the best they can for their children, and their children just so weak minded, because that's what it is. It's so weak minded to the point where you want to go out here and do stuff that you don't even have to do. You could have a decent life. You might not be rich, but you could still have clothes that you want, them joints that you ask for, a couple dollars in your pocket. You could be going to school. You have a roof over your head, all that kind of stuff. But some kids just still choose the wrong route. At some point, they're gonna regret it. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but I understand that some parents do their best, try their hardest, and when kids get older, their peer pressure, and like I said, weak minded, and the need to fit in somewhere. That's all that it be, and so I'm not. This don't go for everybody. So don't get in your feelings. Don't get in your feelings, when I say that. But for the majority, I see a lot of these parents be out here. I just seen a video where I'm from. A mama jumped in the fight, jumped on this girl, high school girl, because, and it was several of them jumped on, but the mama was jumping on the child too. It was some high schoolers, and you know, the mama don't feel she did nothing wrong. Now, there's one thing I can say. Out of all them children that was out there, they was jumping, right? If that child was bullying your daughter or whatever the case may be, if anything, I would have said, you get your one-on-one. But me jumping in it, now if it would have been a lot of girls out there and I walk up and my baby girl or son is out there getting jumped on by 2, 3, 4, 5 people, Children or not, you coming up off of them. That's a different situation. But this was the other way around. They were jumping on that one child. An adult, me jumping on a child? What? I understand, we don't want our babies to get hurt. We don't ever want our babies to be bullied or anything like that. But, you know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to control your emotions. And I couldn't see myself doing that. I'll let you get your one. I'm going to keep it real. If that's what needs to be done, y'all want to fight, go and fight it out and then leave the situation on. Win, lose, or draw. Let it go after this. But I'm not going to jump into a fight with my children. That's what I'm saying. Trying to be your child's friend. Ain't gonna get you nowhere. Ain't gonna get them nowhere. And if my children think I'm too strict or think I'm the mean parent or don't compare me to nobody else's parents. Don't compare me to your friend parent. Don't come to me saying, well, his mama let him do that or her mama let her do this. When my daughter was growing up and when she used to want to spend the night at somebody's house, 9 times out of 10, no. It was a few times. I can count on my hand probably how many times I would really just let her go and stay the night. I needed to talk to the parent. If the mama had a boyfriend or a husband, it was it was a no for me. It was an instant no for me. Cause these men, they be looking at these little girls and you just never know. And I would always allow her to have company because I never had a man live with me. And even if I did have somebody in my life at the time, I just wouldn't invite them over, while my daughter had company, and, I just never was one of them. Never was one of them. Still ain't one of them. I'll never be one of them. And I can say never because I'm never going to go to that extent where I be my child's friend and they be out here doing God knows what. And I try to hide it. I try to hide them out when the police out here looking for them. I try to hide them out because they done took somebody's life. You did that. You did that, mama. You did that, daddy. That was your mistake. If you never tried to teach your child right from wrong and try your very hardest, you just let them go. Let them hide guns in your house. All that type of stuff. No, no, no. No, no, no. You can't blame society for that one. And then you got people be blaming the schools because, of what be going on. No, it starts at home. It starts at home first. You need to raise your kids in your household. You need to raise your kids to want to be some respectful, successful, and we gotta let these children know God. A lot of this stuff that's going on right now with these children, because it's the teenagers out here committing all the crimes. Majority is these young children out here committing the crimes, and a lot of them don't know God, so they don't fear him. They don't fear God. They don't feel like they got an answer to a higher power. They don't, or none of that. They just think they just out here in the world because they have never been taught about the Lord. They have never been taught about Jesus. They have never been taught about sins. They have never been taught about, just right from wrong. It hasn't been instilled in them. And I'm not going to say that I know the Bible from front to back because I don't. I don't. And I know enough to know, what God loves and what God don't love. And I try to tell that to my children and instill that in my children and pray and hope that as they keep growing and become their own person, that they always remember what I taught them and to go out here and be some upstanding, respectful citizens. Like what's wrong with being a respectful child? Like, if I get a phone call from for my son or an email about my son, I automatically know it's nothing to do with him being unruly, because I know I didn't raise him like that. I know things happen. Children do stuff behind our backs that we don't know about. But I can honestly say that if my either one of my children came to me and said this happened, or the teacher called and say this, and I have, for an example, I had one time the teacher called and there was something going on, and every teacher I talked to always said my son was mild mannered, he was quiet, he was a good boy, and this and that. I not once, if I had to go to school, a couple of times about um maybe his attendance, because that was on my part. Like if he out sick and I forget to leave, send a note to school, and then after, if it's more than 2 3 times, then whatever. But other than that, no. And I just pray that they keep on the straight and narrow, want to work, want to get a job, want to have a career, just want to be a good-hearted person, and you know do good, do well in life. And so for that reason, I see so many people being that children's friend and think it's cool, and think, I don't know what they think, but an underage child shouldn't be drinking and smoking and in front of grown folks. Us is, I done been a teenager before. I done did that type of stuff when I was underage, but never in front of an adult. We used to go down the street around the corner and hide behind a tree or something and try to smoke something. You know, Never in front of an adult. We were too afraid. My mama, my aunties, uncles, they for the most part, they didn't play that. My grandma, granddaddy, weren't having that. I didn't grow up with them type of people in my life to make me feel like, you know, wrong is right. I didn't grow up with them kind of people. They put belt to ass, period. Belt to ass. So I think that's what's wrong. A lot of people stop disciplining their children. They stop whooping their children's asses. That's what it boils down to. They stop whooping ass, and a lot of, well, I'm not gonna say a lot, but some of these folks too young to be, they done became grandparents and don't want to be grandparents because they still out here living their life. Some of the parents, so I just can't be my child's friend. I'm not gonna be my child's friend. We can talk, we can have laughs, you can come to me and talk about whatever you want to. But at the end of the day, mine know when I'm serious and when I mean business. I'll laugh and joke with you with them 24 hours a day. But when I get serious, I'm having a serious moment, they know. I feel like if more parents start being parents and whoop, put belt to ass, make these children face their consequences, the ones that are out here doing dirt, doing crimes, taking people's lives, like, these parents need to step up and turn your damn child in. Turn them in. Turn them loose. Turn them loose. Let them go to jail, because that's probably the best place for them. Because guess what? You keep on, you want to be their friend, you don't want to turn them in and stuff, that it's only jail or hell. One of the two. Would you rather still be able to go visit your child? Or which one you want to visit, the jailhouse or the grave? Your choice. But I know when it comes to mine, what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Because I want to come home. And if I say house need to be clean before I get there, That's what I expect. Y'all got some of these children out here. You tell them that you get home, house still nasty. You give them some money to put in their pocket so they can go to the mall and buy them some Jordans, and they didn't even clean the damn house. They ain't got no consequences. None. Mine gonna have consequences if they bring bad grades home. Mine gonna have consequences if they don't keep it clean. Mine gonna have consequences if they try to do any back talk, any little attitude. Consequences. It's law and order around my house. I ain't saying I'm strict. Like when they were younger, I wouldn't say I was strict, but I made sure my kids knew not to fucking play with me. I will keep it real. They knew not to play with me. I put belt to ass. Now they're older now, so my daughter 20 can't put belt to ass, but our conversations and our relationship is different now because she's a young woman. So, we still have talks, and you're gonna always you gonna always still have the moments when, as they are growing to be young adults and still learning their way, but the way you handle things change. And you have them conversations, some grown folk conversations, and let them know the real, you know and so no more belt to ass around here. But I feel like I put my foot down enough over the years that mine know now. They know. And anybody that my cousins know, the kids ain't gonna play with me too fast. Not even my little cousins. My cousins that got kids, they kids, they ain't gonna play with me too fast. Cause I don't even let them feel like they can try me like that. Of course, you got your moments when you gonna play with the kids or whatever, whatever. But for the most part, they ain't gonna play with me like that. And I like it that way. So what, you think I'm mean? I'd rather you think I'm mean than to think you're gonna be disrespectful to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one. I'm not one of them. Sorry. I'm fun. I'm a very fun, bubbly, goofy person. But when it comes to the children and my respect, you gonna give me that. We can have our fun, but just know, you just know how far you can go with me. And you know what I'm saying? As long as we know that and you respectful, I can laugh and joke with you all day. As I do. And sometimes my kids ain't in the joking mood, and I'm the one that's goofy and try to make jokes about stuff. So you know I'm not saying it's something wrong with being a friend to your child, as long as you have boundaries. So that's what I say. To a certain extent, I'm not my friend's children. I'm not my children's friend when it comes to, what I'm saying, upholding from them when they doing certain, wrong stuff out here, doing bad in the streets and stuff like that. No, I'm not your friend. But inside my home, yes, we can kick it. We can laugh. We can joke. Yes. Even when we out in the world, we can. But I'm just saying, I have boundaries with mine. And, I plead the blood of Jesus over mine every day, throughout the day. So I birthed them. Everybody can do what they want to do. This is just my opinion on why I feel like you shouldn't be your children's friend to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Why I don't want to be my children's friend to a certain extent. But you got some parents out here that are their children's friend, and it works for them, and that's fine. It's whatever works in your household. Absolutely, whatever works for your household. I'm just saying that's just how I raised mine, and you know, I could say now the older they have gotten, got two young adults, might as well say, and our relationships, they're better than they weren't bad as a child, but I don't have to put belt to ass no more. They too big. I have to put my fist on them, if anything. But So the relationships change as they get older. I feel like with my mama, I'm 40 and my mom is 61. And of course, your relationships change as your children get older and mature. And, you're not going to be able to treat them like a child forever. You're going to have to treat them like an adult. And, I can say we have our friend moments, me and my mama. We talk on the phone every day. We laugh, we joke. So, ain't nothing wrong with it to that extent. It is what it is. You can be my best friend. You can be my best friend. Long as the boundaries are set. As long as boundaries are set. And, you can have that open door for them to come and talk to you about whatever. And yeah. So those are my thoughts on why my children are not my friends. Okay? My thoughts, my perspective. And, if you have different opinions or if you feel the same way as me, drop it down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on that post notification bell so you'll know every time your girl upload. If you want to do a collaboration or if you want to be a guest and have a topic that you want to talk about it, you can reach my email in my description as well. It's on my channel, but it's me T Marie at yahoo.com. That's going to be the end of this episode. So until next time, y'all, live life and be safe. All right? Peace.